Let me just say it straight. I'm 32 years old. I have thousands of dollars in debt. I don't have a job. I'm currently looking for one, and no one's getting back to me. I live at home. I have a disabled brother, and my dad walked out on us. That's the situation. That's the entire situation in a nutshell. No softening it, no framing it as a bump in the road or part of the journey. It is what it is. I know some of you are watching this and going, okay, why is this guy on camera talking about this? Just quietly fix it on your own and make videos once you figured it out. Why talk about the ugly part? It's because I spent years looking for someone in my exact situation, showing me exactly what they did. Not someone who was broke and is now selling me a course from their boat. Not someone using their rock bottom as a marketing angle after they're already out and is trying to shtup me on Instagram. Someone who is actually in it right now, trying to figure it out in real time. I haven't found that person, so here I am. This video is going to be unedited and raw, and starting with this channel, I'm going to document my rebuild and my journey. So let me tell you where I'm actually at and what brought me to this point. The thousands of dollars. It's not one thing. It didn't come from one bad decision. I didn't go blow it on a bunch of drugs or strippers. I don't do the former and the latter. I've only done when I'm like had money. It's just, in short, my dad was not who he was, stole a bunch of money from my mom, tried to steal the house from my disabled brother, displace him to pay off his debt. Mom has had to cover everything herself, plus attorney fees. And even though she's supporting me, I've still had to charge credit cards for stuff like meal plans, car repairs, medical payments, my propofol for my surgeries, stuff insurance wouldn't cover, etc. And I have multiple credit cards now. I don't have a lot on each card, but it's added up to several thousands. And credit cards, they're used to cover gaps. I haven't taken out a personal loan. It's all just stacked very slowly. And recently, when I looked at the full number, which I don't want to even talk about on here, I just froze and broke down. This is what happens. I avoided looking at it because it's uncomfortable. I said, yeah, I'll get a job soon. I'll take care of it. It'll be fine. And then one day, which happened to be today, I actually looked at what was accumulated, and it was worse than I thought. I'm currently unemployed. I wrapped up my last job with a client. The contract ended and the project was done. And I already knew it wasn't going to be something long term. And while while it helped like in the moment, I need something long term. I don't regret having taken that short term job, but I regret not having a better plan before I made it and way back when. Right now, I'm living at home. My mom's letting me stay here. I help out with her, my brother, and my uncle. I'm also trying to get my shit together so I can help her because my dad has put us in a situation where we kind of need it. I want to be honest about that because I feel like there's a version of this channel where I pretend I'm doing this completely alone, and that would be dishonest. Living here is a resource. My generation is not going to be able to afford affordable housing, part of my grammar, and this house that I live in, that we all live in, is my future. So helping my mom, helping keep this, get rid of our loan, get rid of my debt, it's actually an investment for my future. my future, and only chance at being a homeowner in a safe neighborhood. Living here is a resource in of itself. I live in Los Angeles in a nice suburban area. My expenses are low, thankfully, because I don't pay rent for the house, but it's everything else that has just, me living that has added up. I need a real window to try and fix this. I'm not acting like this is nothing. What triggered this video is that I sat down today and wrote out every single dollar I owed, every account, every balance, every minimum payment, and all the interest that has added up. I've put it into a spreadsheet for myself, and looking at that full picture, I in the moment I felt hopeless, but I also felt clear. For the first time in a while, I know exactly what I'm dealing with, and that clarity has made me want to take an initiative. So this is my move. Okay, let me be precise about what the actual problem is, because I think a lot of people in my situation confuse the emotional experience of being in debt with the actual mechanical problem of being in debt. And those two things need to be handled differently. The emotional experience is shame, it's embarrassment, feeling behind, feeling like a failure, comparing yourself to people your age who have it together, or at least they seem like it. That's real. I feel all of that, and it keeps me up at night. That's not the problem I'm solving today, but I'm acknowledging it. And I am going to set it aside because I can't budget my way out of shame. I can only budget my way out of debt. The actual mechanical problem is this: I owe more money than I currently earn. That's it. It's actually quite simple. My outflow, even at minimum payments, exceeds my income, which right now is zero. That means the hole is getting bigger every month I'm not earning. I've barely saved enough to make the minimum payments, but this is the first month where, I'm sorry, next month is the first month where that won't be able to happen. So the problem has two parts. One, income. Two, the debt structure itself. And here's where I want to slow down because I think people skip over the structure piece. When you have multiple debts, like credit cards, some people have a personal loan, mine are just credit cards. Some people have student debt. They're not all the same. The interest rates are different, the balances are different, minimum payments are different. Just saying I have X amount of dollars in debt doesn't tell you anything useful. You need to know what you owe, to who, at what interest rate, and what the minimum payment is, because that's what tells you the actual cost of this debt every single month. So here's what I'm actually doing, not what I'm thinking about doing. What I'm going to do, step one, is to freeze the bleeding. This means no new debt. That sounds obvious, but it's not as easy as it sounds when you're unemployed. The temptation when you have a credit card with available credit and no income is to use it. I'm not doing that. My credit cards aren't maxed, thankfully. So if I need an emergency surgery or somebody does, emergencies only, but I'm going to be cutting my spending to what I can cover, which is basically just food, uh, water, my phone, that's it. No subscriptions, no eating out, no spending on anything that isn't survival. The living at home situation makes this possible. I know that, and I'm using it to my advantage, and I'm so grateful to it. My next step, which is honestly something I've been trying over the last God knows how many months, is to get income moving in the next 30 days, but something consistent, not just one off projects. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I have a plan to build a business that will solve everything. What I need right now is income. Any income. Legal, real, taxable income. I'm applying for jobs, specifically looking at roles where I can start immediately. I have a disability, so I really can only do desk work. I can't do warehouse, delivery, food, retail, anything that involves being on my feet because of a stomach condition that I have and issues with going to the bathroom. But I really just need anything at a desk, even like a front desk clerk at a law firm or um, a medical office, just something, a real paycheck. I'm also going to test two new side approaches while job searching. I'll get into those in future videos where I can actually track the numbers and track my progress as I do them. But the metric I'm tracking for job applications is I'm applying to a minimum of 10 per day. Not skimming, not half filling out an application. 10 completed submitted applications per day. Not easy apply, actual applications on company websites. I'm logging them in a spreadsheet. I will show that data. My third step is to order the debt for attack. Once income is coming in and minimums are covered, I'm using the avalanche method. That means I'm paying the minimums on everything and throwing every extra dollar at the highest interest rate, debt first. There's one card that has very high interest rate at 25%. That is my priority. That's the bulk of it. Once that's gone, that payment gets rolled into the next one, and so on. The math on Avalanche versus Snowball. Avalanche saves more money in interest. Snowball gives you quicker psychological wins. I'm going with Avalanche because I think I can manage the psychology. I need to save as much money as possible on this. Step 4. Track everything publicly. Every month, I'm going to put my analytics on camera. My application sent, any back and forths, what worked, what didn't. I'm not going to hide any bad days or bad months, and I'm going to keep a record of all the jobs I actually applied to. If I find anything interesting that I want to share that's not one of those, I will also share theirs also. And maybe as the numbers get down, I will feel more comfortable sharing those numbers. Here's what I've already learned just from the process of putting this video together. What has worked is writing out every single debt in one place. I kept avoiding it because I didn't want to see the full number. When I finally did it, it was bad. It's manageable, I will admit. There are worse. My dad had it worse with UCLA student loans, and a friend of mine also from UCLA student loans. And then just my mom has it really bad with what my dad put her in. So, not unfixable bad for me. The avoidance was worse than the reality. But what failed is the assumption that I could just figure it out or I'll get a job soon and not having a real system in place, not saving my money. I spent the last 2 or 3 years doing that, moving money around, paying minimums, telling myself I deal with it when I have a better job. I never really got something consistent. The debt didn't wait. But what surprised me is how much of this is just basic math. People make personal finance sound complicated, but it really isn't. I struggled in school with math and failed a lot, and I still find this easy. And we have calculators and we have AI that can do the math for you. It is uncomfortable, but those are different things. The math is simple. You need to earn more than you spend and direct the difference at debt in the right order. That's it. The hard part isn't understanding it. The hard part is doing it when your income is unstable or non existent and your self worth is wrapped up in a number on a screen. Here's where I'm going from here. In the next 30 days, I'm focused entirely on one thing: income. I'm not going to be talking about investing, not going to be talking about credit scores, even though mine are fine because until next month, I have not missed any minimum payments. I've saved enough to be able to do that at least. So I got to give myself credit for that. I'm not going to be talking about anything that isn't directly related to getting money coming in and minimums covered. That's the only mission right now. My next video isn't going to be for a little bit, but I'm going to document 2 weeks of job applications, the actual data, how many I've sent, what response rates looked like, what kind of roles responded, what didn't. No skipping to the part where I have good news. Whatever happens, you're going to see it. Even if nothing happens, you'll see that nothing happened. The experiment I'm running in parallel. I'm going to test one income approach on the side while job searching. I'm not going to oversell what it is or promise any results. I'll show you exactly what it is, how much time I put into it, and what it produced or didn't. That's it. That's the plan. No promises, no guarantees, just the process, the numbers, and whatever I learn. And that is YouTube. And if you're in a similar spot, unemployed, in debt, living at home, feeling behind, I'm not here to tell you it's going to be fine. I don't know if it's going to be fine. And if it is, I don't know when it'll be fine. But what I do know is that looking directly at the problem is better than looking away from it. And that's what I'm doing. Thank you for watching.